You're back with another one. This time we got top 10 visually amazing fights in anime by VinnyTube. Get back with VinnyTube, like VinnyTube. Sure y'all like the video, comment, subscribe, and let's get into it. Make sure this is not too loud.
Sakuga. Now, what is this Sakuga that I'm talking about? Technically speaking, it basically means animation. That's very mundane, right? But of course, that's not how we use it. And for the anime fan, Sakuga means impressive animation. And I mean impressive animation that can be considered a visual miracle. A recent example would be the most iconic.
That was the most
scene in
ESPN
Demon Slayer.
fact I had ever
The one
heard.
that blew up the internet. Just so we can get it out of the way, Sakuga, in its colloquial term, refers to a scene or even a moment where the animation quality just elevates in quality, going full overdrive and driving the fan base nuts. So today, I'll be going through 10 of the fights in anime with the most breathtaking animation. However, I won't just be ranking them based on animation, but also on scale and stakes, or just plain emotional investment for me. But before that, click the subscribe button, ring the bell, and let's get going.
And what I mean, like, ESPN stat, I mean, there's literally no reason for that stat to exist or that fact to exist. Like when they say LeBron James, the first player to score, that you actually, y'all see that stat where it's like the only players to do this, and that, and it's like LeBron, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Magic Johnson, Thaddeus Young. It's like, why does that exist? Why does that? That's such a specific stat. Why did that exist? Because Thaddeus Young is not on their level at all.
Also,
I know that was
heard about Mob
sidetracked,
Psycho and how it has such amazing animation, to the point where there was actual drama when the show didn't win some online polls for the best animation and the like. That's wild if you ask me. To be fair, the angry mob, no pun intended, did have a point. Exhibit A, Mob versus Mogami. One could argue that Mob Psycho is pretty much a chain of fights filled with breathtaking animation, but I think this one stands out as it happens early in the second season and sets expectations for the rest of the series. Expectations that were easily met by the godly anime staff. This ain't One Punch Man with a cursed season 2, folks. It's a pivotal moment in Mob's character development and a breathtaking display of Japanese animation prowess. I can't be the only one who got chills when Mob breaks through Mogami after recapturing his resolve. Now that I've shown you this treat for your eyes, perhaps you want to try jumping into the Mob Psycho train too.
I was shook when I said, like, I was like amazed. And I was also a little bit like disappointed in Mob. I was like, Mob, you were smarter than this. Just see through it. Please, see through it. And then, like, he didn't see through it. Man was about to, I think, was he about to take his own life, right? Because he thought things were useless. Got saved by Dipple. Ooh, I haven't seen it. Is this the Netflix Castlevania? Castlevania.
Castlevania is an American production, but it looks very anime, right? And it has a source material that's Japanese, so I guess it counts. Hey now, I've talked about Chinese anime on this channel before, so it's only fair to include something from the West now, isn't it? But seriously though, do we really care too much about
Last Airbender in there, then.
When we have one hell of a fight between Trevor Belmont and Death? The fight has no shortage of epic moments that help capture the adrenaline of playing the original games. The camera angles and the intense motion captures really hammer home the impact of jumping around while fighting Death himself. The dramatic comeback by Belmont is one of my favorite moments in the whole Castlevania series. It's not too bad. It's not too bad at all. Probably something that would make you want to check out Castlevania, right? While it's a far cry from the traditional definitions of Sakuga, given the context of the production, this is a damn good fight.
Bro, I've seen this fight on so many lists. That's how you know it's got to be a lit fight. No pun intended, seeing how they're using fire hands.
But I think it's the perfect time to talk about this fight again. After all, for those of you who are new to the channel, it's probably your first time being introduced to this masterpiece in animation. One of the best fight scenes in anime, if we're solely talking about the amount of effort exerted in animating a sequence so smoothly. Just let the clip speak for itself. I think that a key in keeping your viewers engaged is to just wow them with smooth animation. And wow us this show did with its display of superb martial arts and hand-to-hand combat. Unfortunately, the show's not too popular, and for the casual viewer, the fight unfortunately may not mean too much. JJK, where do we start? To help dampen the unfortunate news about the manga recently, let's look at one of the many breathtaking
Unfortunate
action
news?
sequences that the show has to offer.
What
Honestly
unfortunate
speaking,
news?
there's a lot to pick from, and I'm not even sure which one to feature for my list. But after much deliberation, I decided to go for the Yuji and Todo
figure
fight
this out.
versus
Hold up.
Hanami. Why? Well, it's simple. This fight
That is mad pretty, but let me look this up real quick. Manga. Oh, that's a period, not an enter. News. Here we go. Hiatus. Oh no, he's sick. No. Oh man. Normally when they start hiatuses, they turn into Hunter x Hunter real quick.
Requires so much more animation
I hope he get better
prowess to
soon.
pull off. The characters go at it from the start, and you can just get lost at the amount of fluid movement that attacks your eyes. It helps that the fight has a lot of ways to keep you engaged, mostly through the techniques being put on display. You've got to watch this fight. It's no question that the animation will blow you away, but the application of teamwork and various techniques used in synergy is also a sight to see. I also like how Yuji and Todo didn't win the fight technically. They had to stall and survive long enough for Gojo to arrive and do his thing, and that, my friends, is yet another visual spectacle to end the awesomeness of the whole thing.
Yo, yesterday I was looking up net worths. You know how randomly you see celebrity net worths and like you just look it up. He's like, I wonder what, like, how much they make or something. I saw Akira Toriyama, how much he made. He's worth, his net worth, $45 million.
Thanks to the wonders of modern technology, the Broly and the Gogeta that we've known from the old days have been reborn in amazing fashion.
And I thought that'd be the most. Then I looked up Oda.
The animation is just top-notch, and it really recaptures the heat of the battle between two of the most powerful beings in the Dragon Ball universe. Both fans of the old days looking for nostalgia, or the newer viewers that GBS got would just love this fight. Paying to see the movie live will forever be a purchase that I will never ever regret. We rarely see Gogeta in action, but he never disappoints when he sets out to kick ass. This is just one of the many fights that we'll remember the series for.
They uploaded that on YouTube, lasted an hour. I refreshed the page, that thing was gone. That was stricken from YouTube. I got lucky. Because at the time, I ain't have no time to go see a movie. I ain't have the money. I was definitely not about to sit down and go see an anime movie at the time.
With a fight that has a foregone conclusion, there are a few things you can do to make
Hadn't
it
done that
interesting.
since that Naruto movie came out,
The easiest way, in my opinion, is to have the whole thing look so over the top to the point where the audiences will remember it for years to come. That, my friends, is how I'll evaluate Saitama versus Boros. We all know Saitama's going to win this one anyway, so the question is a matter of how is he going to win? How is it going to look? Well, if attacks as over the top as the ones Boros threw is your thing, you've come to the right place. Watching the fight again, I can almost feel the impact from Boros' attacks that seem more than capable of planetary destruction. In the end, Boros' trump card is no match for Saitama's serious punch, and we put an end to this chapter of One Punch Man in probably the most visually impactful way possible.
It's like, bro, if you can punch that hard, you would destroy the earth. Okay, like, bro. He threw one. That's probably not his full punch. Now, I did watch this
you think that just
yesterday.
Because I mentioned episode 19 in the intro, we won't be having any Demon Slayer? Well, especially since the record-breaking movie just got released not too long ago, bringing with it the fight animations.
I thought that was going to be the main villain.
Long-known UFO table for.
I didn't think the train was going to be the villain.
Right. We have Akaza versus Rengoku as our fourth place entry for the list for a good reason. It's more than 5 minutes of simple non-stop action featuring the techniques and the art style that have long become Demon Slayer's signatures. Only now, being available on the big screen, you can see how much better everything looks. For those who haven't read the manga, the fight also came at an opportune time. Just
I was so pissed.
Here comes this
learning all about this Hashira. I was so hyped to learn about the Hashira.
It's a fight filled to the brim with emotion.
And then they gonna go kill him, bro. Like, come on, in a movie, not even an episode, bro. In the movie, good thing they made the movie available on Funimation. Like, I would have been pissed if I had to go to theaters to see, like come back. Wait, the Hashira was like, I'd have been so confused. I'd have been pissed.
We've got more theatrical productions coming up, and this is a fight that I've spent quite a lot of time talking about. Hey, I can't help it because it's really that good. We're talking about the climax of Sword of the Stranger. To be fair, most of the movie's fight scenes can qualify, as you can see with that early sequence of Luo Lang soloing those poor falls. However, I got a lot more into it when the time for the final battle came. Sword of the Stranger stands out from the other titles on this list because it's one of the titles that doesn't involve those supernatural powers or whatnot, just good old swordsmanship. And it's fights like these that must be so well animated in order to captivate the audience. Luo Lang versus Nanashi almost single-handedly makes the movie worth watching, but I'd say that the entire movie is good, not just this part. Still though, it's the standout that I'll always remember.
This was probably the best sword fight like I've seen in anime. Also, I know this is random, but like, y'all heard of Space Dandy? For some reason, I was getting Space Dandy vibes from that. It might be from the same like mangaka. Because I know it's from the same as Cowboy Bebop.
Seeing
Not
Naruto and
manga, but
Sasuke fight
the
together
animation
brings
studio.
back some memories, and this is the one moment that the creators just cannot afford to screw up in Boruto. Thankfully, they passed the test with flying colors and gave us this visual spectacle of a fight. It's really a pleasure to see some callbacks to the old abilities that have become some of the most iconic parts of the franchise. Of course, it's made even better with the updated visuals and the very intriguing turns of events in the fight itself. I was at the edge of my seat when I first saw this fight, and it felt like a reunion filled with suspense and tension. The fight is good and all, but I think the saddest part of this is how much it reminds us of good old Naruto. And given how much effort got put into this fight and how beautiful it looked, I'd like to think that the animators are kinda in the same boat.
Sasuke is disgustingly broken. How you gonna be just like that?
Versus Ryder and Shiro.
At that point, he really can do whatever he wants.
Could we have a
Now, I
list
knew
of
a Fate fight had to be
fight
on here.
sequences without featuring probably the holy grail of big screen productions in that regard? The Heaven's Field trilogy has been nothing short of breathtaking with its animation on the fight sequences, and the third movie gave us the pinnacle of it all. The Saber versus Ryder and Shiro fight is something that I've been so excited to see when I started following the series. Then the trailer hit. Then the actual film hit, and let's just say that I was completely captivated by the glorious animation in the real thing. I won't go as far as to say that nothing will compare to this fight in the film trilogy, but it's got a pretty damn secure grip on the top spot for me. There could be some arguments for some to consider the Berserker versus Saber fight, and it's a valid point, but for me, I think there's just far more stakes and emotional investment in this fight, and we know that it's the magic ingredient to help push a fight further. And with that in mind, I put this as my #1 breathtaking battle in anime, and I'm curious if you'd agree or not. Feel free to chime in on the comment section while you're at it. That brings us to the end of this list. If you enjoyed the countdown, hit that like button and share this video with your friends. Maybe it can catch their attention and you can help them join the wonderful world of anime. Now,
yeah, do what he said for his video and my video. And introduce them to the wonderful world of anime. Avatar Last Airbender fights, you know, they might be on one of these lists. If he's running low, he might be like, you know what, I might have to put a Last Airbender fight on there. But hey, if y'all enjoy, like, comment, subscribe. I'm out. Peace.